What's a good sign someone has a toxic personality? Assuming that they are entitled to everyone's stuff, but having a nuclear meltdown when you ask for something, even when it's your own stuff you're asking for. Even if it's your own stuff, I freaking hate that. Always playing the victim. Someone who never admits they are wrong and blame others for everything is very toxic. With time, they can make you think like them, and if you don't stop yourself, it's a hard habit to break. They're very me and expect you to do things just because they do them. I had an abusive ex who did that a lot. Don't be surprised, but those me people come far in life, cause they expect the best for them and people will only give them that. When they give you backhanded compliments, something like "you're not as fat as you were a month ago" or "I'm amazed someone with your body can look good in that." Also people who say negative things about you to make themselves look better. You look okay considering you are old and fat despite you being a retard. It's reasonably easy to understand what you are saying. They see others as competition for attention and admiration. If you tell them, "Our mutual friend, Becky, saved a kitten from the tree," toxic people are inclined to do a few things. 1. They undermine that with a story about them saving a kitten from a much taller tree, or a time when they were stuck in a tree themselves and almost died or something. 2. They question Becky's motives for saving the kitten. They may also try to bring up that time 5 years ago that Becky cheated on her boyfriend. Pretty much throw anything that can negate Becky's accomplishment. 3. They may brag about how close they are with Becky, not because they are proud of her, but because they see it as an opportunity to get attention for being the friend of someone who is in the spotlight. Related to 1. They'll scoff and eye roll about how saving a kitten isn't even hard, aka undercut and dismiss it in order to make themselves feel better. When they are constantly complaining, and they try to manipulate you into feeling guilty. "I'm sorry, you might be going through some crap, but so is everyone. Buck up, own some responsibility, and make your own path." They also like to play the victim card a lot. I've noticed that usually when you first meet them, you think that they seem really nice, but something is off about them. I've always regretted not listening to that warning I got about people. I think that this offness is a combination of body language and facial expressions. You can tell when someone is not being genuine with their emotions. They could be smiling, but the rest of their face tells you another story. There are 3 types of toxic people that come to mind. 1. Narcissists. These people seem charismatic and charming right from the get-go. They make you feel that bright light is shining only on you. In the beginning, red flag, wants to be super best friends. Super in love a lot more quickly than normal. 2. Users. These people ask for things of their friends, but don't give much in return. They always seem needy, yet no matter what they get, they never seem to reach equilibrium and be fine. They always come back to you for more. This can be money, favors, or just using you as their therapist. Red flag, asking for things too early in the relationship, often using "you're the only person I can ask" or some related excuse. 3. Boohooers. Like some users, these people will end up using you as their free therapy and one-way support, but for different reasons. These people are just self-destructive messes. Their lives are truly messed up, but likely due to their own actions or negligence. However, they don't see it that way. They are always dating buttholes, fighting with feeling put upon by friends and relatives, getting in trouble at work in avoidable ways, feeling lost in life because they never put in the effort to find a direction, etc. They just have a feeling that life is so unfair to them, that they are unlucky or the whole system is rigged and they are snarled in it. They don't see their own agency in it and feel entitled to everyone's support and comfort because their life is so unfairly crappy. Red flag, general emotional incontinence. I agree with 2 and 3, but I think narcissism is more about always wanting the spotlight on themselves, or more specifically, not understanding how other people don't enjoy the spotlight always being on the narcissist. It's pretty subtle, but when everything they say sounds like they're trying to teach you something and is long-winded and condescending, it's usually a sign they have a superiority complex. Question: oh, do you listen to insert band? Normal answer: nah, they're not really my thing. Toxic person answer: no, I don't actually, and let me explain to you why I don't. You see, insert long-winded rant about how the band is essentially crap and why their own personal music choice is far superior in composition. If they make you feel stupid, if it's obvious that nothing you talk about is interesting enough to them, if you're the only one of the two of you working to engage and interact and are still left feeling like you aren't good enough for them, there's probably, definitely, a huge problem there. Another good indicator. Do you feel worse than you did before each interaction? Is this consistent enough that it regularly affects your mood? Extract yourself from that relationship ASAP. Oh man, this is totally how my last relationship was. I put so much effort in and got none in return and was called a B for not caring when he wouldn't even tell me stuff. Luckily I broke up with him a few months ago. This whole business of labeling a person or their entire personality toxic is itself what is toxic. Everyone has flaws, and some flaws are major problems. But most people have redeemable qualities too. By immediately categorizing people in this way, we justify cutting flawed people out of our lives rather than putting in the effort to build relationships that are better for everyone involved. And for the record, each person posting here probably has a quality that someone else would deem toxic. That caveat is that if someone is abusive, then it makes sense to end the relationship. But this toxic that makes it hard to distinguish the difference between flawed individuals and abusers. Not sure who to attribute this to, but I heard someone say if someone cut you off in traffic on your way to work, and you're still pee off when you get home, you're the butthole. I think that sums up a toxic person pretty well. You will begrudge the day you wrote this, for I never forget any wrongdoing done to me, ever. When you don't know them very well and they talk crap about other people in front of you, it probably means they do the same with other people about you. Learned this one the hard way at my first job. Had a girl who loved to try and get dirt on people so she could gossip to everyone else about it and generally stir crap. She'd earn your trust by sharing everyone else's issues. Turned out she'd been canned from her previous job for the exact same behavior. Competitive suffering is one of my biggest pet peeves. If you're my friend and I come to you because something bad has happened to me, don't listen for 3 minutes and then proceed to tell me something worse that happened to you once. I've got a friend who does this constantly, and more often than not, the worst thing that happened to them seems like a complete lie. I'm not like other girls. I hate drama, or most of my friends are guys because girls are too much drama. If you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best is literally someone asking you to tolerate their crappy behavior. And the you don't deserve me part is extremely condescending and shows an inflated sense of importance. If their social media is flooded with posts about how self comes before everything else and they seem to have a strange obsession with cutting people out of their life and how they don't have time to put up with negativity people who don't support them, it sounds good. Chances are they're not trying to say don't forget to treat yourself well, but what they mean is worship me and don't show the slightest ounce of negativity or else I'm going to cut you out of my life, not give an explanation, and then go post on social media about how over you I am. Blaming their crappy behavior on some outside source and not being sorry for it or doing anything about it if the problem can be dealt with. Bonus points if they use the excuse well, you know I'm just a B. I've always interpreted the second one to be speaking out against fair weather friends and the like. Everyone ends up in a bad mood or has a crappy day from time to time, and our friends shouldn't just nope the frick out during those times. Scrodinger's douchebag. Someone who says bad things and decides from the reaction they get whether or not they were joking. 1. Anything you do, even if it's a tiny thing like moving their backpack so it's not in everyone's way, makes you literally Satan. 2. The guy girl who always says, oh come on, it was a joke. 3. Refuses to admit they made a mistake. The easiest way to figure it out is when someone blames everyone else for what's wrong and refuses to take fault for any of their problems. Yes to the first and second, and to the third it depends on the parent. No, all parents are kind wholesome types looking out for their kids, some are not very nice people that happen to breed. Look into the adult child abandonment forms for examples of why some parents think they are being treated poorly without understanding the toxicity they generate. Not really an answer, but rather needing some help from you all. I've been heartbroken for more or less a month. and ever since I've oscillated a lot between many different feelings. I've been trying to become a different person, but at the same I feel like there are many thoughts of mine that would be pretty crappy otherwise, especially by losing trust in some people. Anyways, I'd like to know what I could do to avoid taking the route of seeing myself as the victim all the time, or even having some sort of anger or distrust towards some people. I know that the only reason I feel uncomfortable around some people is because of the person I loved, so I'd guess moving on is part of the process. But it was free. For example, I bought baseball tickets for my mom when she visited because we always used to go to Cardinals games when I was a kid. Mom bitched entire game and said the only reason we went as kid was because dad got free tickets from work. Don't underestimate your gut instincts. Even if a toxic person is trying to hide it, if you start feeling uncomfortable, then imagine what this person would be like at their worst. As someone who is a toxic person due to mental health issues, this poem very much resonates with my behavior and is a good one to watch out for. A narcissist's prayer. That didn't happen. And if it did, it wasn't that bad. And if it was, that's not a big deal. And if it is, that's not my fault. And if it was, I didn't mean it. And if I did, you deserved it. When they seek out gratitude. Yes, you did a nice thing. Yes, I should be polite and thank you for it. Yes, begging demanding gratitude from me makes you look like a douche canoe, drudging up past mistakes. Yes, I did a mean thing that one time, or broke that, or forgot that too. No, it's not relevant to the current problem nor does it make your argument better. Being a bad listener. Yes, you have a lovely voice that you love to listen to. Yes, I have an opinion. You don't care? Okay, I'll just go frick myself then. Gets really angry when someone does them wrong, but when they do the exact same thing, they expect leniency for their behavior. They will also depict you overreacting if you react the same way as them or use exaggerated behavior like storming out. Beating on people whenever they want, but the minute you even look like you might retaliate saying that you're overreacting, even though they had literally been punching, and calling you retarded for the past 4 years, which undermined your self-confidence, leaving you the anxious, depressive husk of a person you are today. Also saying that they'll pay you back but they always get defensive when you ask for the money. Also saying that they'll pay you back but they always get defensive when you ask for the money. Ask for collateral anytime someone asks to borrow money. Trust me, it shuts them up and they leave you alone. Physically and verbally abusing me and my friends and blaming it on us while we have physical marks from her. I think I'll post a story about it on our end at Ledkids. They'll treat you differently according to who they are around. You guys are alone and everything seems great, but once they are around someone else, you're invisible. Condescending tone and opinions in conversations. Frequent lying about things both big and little. Using shaming in conversations. Laughing or amusement about your difficulties and accomplishments. Oppositional behavior. Frequent disagreement with any belief or statement you make. Abandonment. Stopping and or avoiding all contact when they think you are having difficulties or problems. The hope is you will seek them out for help when you are vulnerable. This allows them to manipulate you. Pointing out faults or flaws in your character or life situation. Allows them to manipulate you once you feel vulnerable. These are a few of the behaviors I have observed in a sibling with narcissistic personality disorder. People who either completely ignore your achievements and victories, or drag you down and deflate you rather than celebrating them with you, or just one-up you. Can never be wrong, even if the evidence for it always is to one-up you in severity or accomplishment. Doesn't know when to STF you. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.